Now let's turn to the Asian Development Bank, who says that the threat of contagion is real. Iwan Azis, head of regional integration at the ADB, joins us this morning with the ADB just publishing its quarterly Asian Bond Monitor. And Iwan, let's talk about this threat of contagion. Why is it so real in your view?
Because we are talking about the financial sector, unlike in goods sector. So there's a whole bunch of uncertainty and market sentiments and so forth. And given what's happening in the global economy, high degree of uncertainty, it is happening. So the spillover effect of the European European crisis.
Yeah, and you're saying that Indonesia, Malaysia, Korea, the most impacted by the Eurozone crisis, which is quite interesting because Malaysia, some would say, is more domestically oriented.
Absolutely.
But why is it being impacted?
Well, because there are quite a significant share of the foreign players in those markets. So when there is uncertainty in the global economy, and including the deleveragings of the financial sector in Europe, that definitely caused the in and out flows of the capital, and that is destabilizing.
Yeah, so in your view, Indonesia, Malaysia, Korea, they're going to be the most impacted by the ongoing sovereign debt crisis in Europe. Have the central banks done enough? Have they stepped in enough to protect their economies from further downside?
Yes, they are doing very seriously with regards to another financial market, which is the exchange rate, because if there is a huge fluctuation in the inflow and outflow, that affects the exchange rate. And in fact, indeed, the exchange rate has been very volatile in those countries that you mentioned.
Yeah, someone mentioned China as well. Taking a look at the severe slowing that's taking place in that economy, it's been impacted by the Eurozone, I would argue.
Absolutely, yeah. The China story is mostly the export story because of the demand, the declining demand from Europe and the U.S.
Yeah, what about the Asian Development Bank? Do they have concerns about how steep the slowdown is in China right now?
Well, of course, concern is there, but we believe that China's slowdown is mostly because of the authority wants to make it slow down. If you recall, last year we were sitting here, we're discussing about that China is too hot, they have to slow down, especially the property market has to be cooled, and they did it.
Yeah,
and
but
now
that was growth at 9.5% or double digits.
Exactly.
We're looking at growth at just coming in line with the government target. That hasn't happened in many, many years.
Yeah, but what is interesting in your report earlier is CPI is up, but PPI is down. So to me, it's a clear sign that this is not demand-driven.
Okay.
So in other words, the inflation pressure is coming from the supply side, with this food price, basically.
So it's an external issue.
Exactly.
Now you're saying that there's persistence, at least. There was a few economies that probably weather some of these shocks, like Lehman's, better than others, is Thailand and the Philippines, which I find interesting.
Yeah, because these markets are relatively small markets. So when you have quite a significant players, a significant share of the foreign players, and you are talking about small market, then it's quite easy to be volatile, and that's what's happening in those markets.
Okay, so you're saying the only place, the safest place, is probably in the bond market, and has this, I guess, accumulated also the expectations of QE3 and more stimulus coming from the European side?
Yeah, in the short run, what happened after Mario Draghi's announcement the other day, in the short run, it has a positive impact on the bonds market because it cooled down the sentiment of the market. But in the medium run, we're not sure because, one have to recall that what is needed next after Mario Draghi's announcement is really the conditionality. So what kind of conditionality?
Yeah.
So far, people do not really talk about that conditionality.
Yeah, what about the ESM that ruling this week as well? So bottom line is to go in the bond market to save this place to be and probably have a strong stomach for some of the volatility as well.
Correct.
All right, Iwan, it's good to see you in the flesh. I know you usually join us from Singapore. Iwan Azis there, head of regional economic integration at Asian Development Bank.